Up, up. Are we up? Testing. We'll see if we're going. We don't know if we're going. So, welcome. I'm still trying to get the hang of this, and welcome. I'm still trying. There we go. That one's going. Hey. Hey. Whoa. 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 So, hoping, yep, we're on. Yep, we're going. Awesome. All right. Hello. 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 Welcome back to Let's Chat with Cap. I am Cap. Coming to you from the great state of Iowa, where we seem to be in a lot of the news lately, especially after our election here, primaries we had here. We are first in the nation when it comes to the presidential caucuses, primaries. We opened that up. Last time the Democrats decided they didn't want to do that because we're not diversified enough. So you know what? Fuck them. Republicans did it anyway. But welcome. We like to start things out with a laugh. And if anybody knows anything, there is this big, I know they want to call it a conspiracy theory, but of the Clintons suiciding people. Don't know which rabbit hole you guys want to go down. I mean, I know where I'm at with that. We can get into a lot of that because, well, why not? So, that there and that there. Awesome. So, a few weeks ago, we heard the English, and God bless you guys. But you're just not built the same as Americans. I mean, complaining about like 25, 28 degrees Celsius, heat index getting up to feeling like 30 degrees Celsius. It's warm. I don't know Celsius that well. So, but anyway, they complain, they get a heat wave, and then it goes away. And somehow they didn't know how, some of them don't know how insulation works here. And yes, a lot of Americans have air conditioning. There's even air conditioners in Alaska, believe it or not. I forgot all about that map. That was hilarious. But yeah, we have air conditioners, yeah, because we do work a lot in the heat. We got farmers that spend 16 hours out in this heat, and we're going to cool off a little bit. It's more enjoyable for work and whatnot, but it's just funny. Right now, we're going through a little heat snap here, kind of like they were, except for we live in the middle of the country. And I mean, I get a lot of people don't drive, I guess, in England. I don't know. You take the trains, take the buses. But just kind of funny that, it's not that long of a drive from pretty much anywhere to get to the oceans and seas around, because England's a freaking island. It's a fucking island. Go cool off. If you complain, and then you look at it, they get a little heat wave and goes away. Well, welcome to Iowa. Yeah, we're in the middle of this beautiful country. Beautiful land that has been, in my opinion, mismanaged, very mismanaged for what we had for rich topsoil here. Uh, some parts of it nature, some parts of it man-made up here. Um, I'm pretty set on that argument. But you know, it's unusually warm. This is still the beginning of June. We usually don't get really hot here till mid July, all the way through most of August into beginning part of September. So, and that's during that time period. And like I said, we live in the middle of the country. We don't have oceans near us or anything like that. We get breezes, but sometimes it just don't help. Especially we start getting into July, late July, August. The corn starts sweating because corn likes a lot of water. It holds a lot of moisture, and as it's maturing and starting to dry out because the ears have reached maturity, now it's going to dry out. Well, as that's doing that, where's that moisture going to go? It goes right into the air, so it gets freaking hot here. Uh, Today it was 90, 91 degrees, feeling like 100, 101, 102 degrees outside today. Um, this is this is our normal late July's and August, but we are going to see a little bit of a break. It's been 80 for the most part for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks at least. But it's going to get worse here when this corn does start sweating. When we used to not plant as much corn, we did have days where it got well up into the 100 degrees. I'm pretty sure a lot of that history it's been scrubbed down to look otherwise, but I remember days of 110 degrees for about a week here in Iowa. Now, I don't think they were playing around with the little thing saying that, this is how it feels outside, because no, it felt hotter than 110, 105 degrees outside. It felt like 120, 125 degrees. But we can get hot. And there's no real reprieve from it unless a big ass fucking storm comes through and it kind of cools us down. For the most part, it gets more humid as night goes on. We have a lot of mornings where it's foggy as heck because of how much moisture, and it gets trapped down here. We might see a little bit of relief of the humidity at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and most of the time then it lasts till about 6:30 in the morning, and then the sun is really starting to break through the fog and the mist, not really mist, just fog, and it starts heating up. I mean, the sun's beating down and it's melting away the moisture that you can visually see in the air and disperses it more into the air. It makes it more miserable. So there's not a lot of reprieve here, but anyway, I got away from what I was talking about there, but that's all right. Time to put the glasses on. So what should we talk about? I'm not going to get into Trump going to the basketball game. I don't care. I think that's cool that he went. One of the first presidents ever to attend a lot of this stuff. I mean, why not? Be with the people. So, booze or no booze, it's still, I think it looks good. Fuck Stephen A. Smith. That motherfucker just needs to shut the fuck up and do sports. I don't think you're very good at your job to start off with, even doing sports, but I don't watch ESPN because of that fact. and that I don't want to have cable. I don't have cable. I don't have satellite. Um, I don't normally watch television. Uh, Sue me. Uh, oh, but I'm not sponsored by milk. But I suggest everybody drink milk. Milk is it's just good for you. Yeah, we drink a lot of Gatorade here over the last couple of days. That's for sure. So, roaches. We got murder going on. Um, Murder trial wrapping up, and um, with that, we've got Idiocracy. If you have not seen the movie Idiocracy, it's it's a comedy. It's in a lot of ways now it's a tragedy, but it's one of those movies that kind of like 1984 was a brilliant book, great movie, but it was a book that said, or a movie that says, hey, this is what could happen. Don't let it happen. This is would be utterly fucking ridiculous. So we'll get into that. Should we talk about this motherfucking idiot, Carmelo Anthony? Motherfucker's guilty. You fooled me. Oh yeah, that's right. I believed everything that was said right off the bat. Well, not right off the bat here. I could tell right away they were going to use this as a psyop to try to, twist turn. But facts of the matter is, if somebody touches you, doesn't give you the right to stab them. You can argue that the cops have done shit like that. Whatever. Now I'm not defending the cops because that's where we get off onto the whole constitutional tangent that really irks me. And yeah, it just downright pisses me the fuck off. Dude, I hate it when our politicians are fucking with us and not just fucking with us, but I mean just taking our civil rights away. So another story. But anyway, all the witnesses that came out first, of course, they were the whiter people, some Hispanics, his teammates of this Austin Metcalf. And of course, the black community is going to complain and bitch and moan, but okay. Somebody stabbed, but we go to trial. We'll take it to trial. And this has got to be the most fucked up part about this whole situation was that they get a GoFundMe. This kid gets out of prison for being arrested for murder. He gets out on bail. And he bonds out. Even if you had the $2 million, most of the time here in Iowa is around $2 million for bond on first degree murder. Even if you came up with that money, I don't think they still really want to let you out. But sob story, Kid 17, black. Obviously, he's being targeted, so pulled the heartstrings, they let him out. Family raises over $600,000, and then we hear the rumors of them spending it on a house, spending it on this car. Oh, no. We're not doing that. No. We wouldn't be doing that. But then the trial starts, and they use the public defender. Paid for by the most part by our taxes. So, but still, if you had that money, if that GoFundMe, I feel sorry for the people that gave to him, knowing now that none of that money went to a good attorney. This attorney the public defender, it makes you wonder what the fuck they're thinking, because the freaking guy, one of Carmelo's attorneys has the theory that Austin threw himself onto the knife because the knife went in further than the blade length. So I think it's a 3-inch blade. It went in 5 inches. Okay. Well, he threw himself into the knife. That's what that proves. Carmelo didn't stab him. He just had the knife out, and Austin threw himself onto the knife. So, okay. Highly unlikely, but yeah, that's let's go with that. But then the other part of that is that kind of shows how much force he had with that knife. Now, did he kind of? I don't know. I've been hitting the gut with a fucking sledgehammer, and it just felt. Yeah, you just kind of went back with it. So, there was force behind the stab, plain and simple. So, and the star witnesses for the defense. Oh my lord, they just got tripped up and ruined so bad that they more or less quit early yesterday to get to the closing arguments today. Closing arguments were made this morning. The jury took the deliberations and came back with a guilty. Here's the funny part, and I was reading it. It's not in that one. Yeah, it is. No. They were going to sequester the jury pool. Now, sequestering the jury pool means they will be loaded in at an undisclosed location at the courthouse into a blacked out van. They'll be taken to a hotel where they will remain until the next morning. They will have no television in the room, no access to newspaper, no cell phone, no telephone. You pretty much just bring a book and start reading, because they don't want outside influence to judge, to make their judgment, to cloud their judgment. Something that we did not see at all in Minneapolis for Derek Chauvin. I mean, the jury the whole time had to go in and out of the protesters outside wanting Derek Chauvin dead. They wanted him hung up, drawn and quartered through the streets of Minneapolis for doing his job. They let that jury go through that. They got to go home every night. They were not sequestered. They were so going in and out of all that protesters, whether you're wearing a mask or not, if you know your name might get leaked out. You know, mob law justice sometimes is not a good thing. We have to let justice play out. And therefore, in my belief, I know Derek Chauvin didn't get a fair trial. His appeals process is not fair. I mean, he lives up there in Minneapolis, and we see all the fucking fraud coming from Minneapolis right now. And I pray we can get some fucking arrests. Pray we get some arrests, because I like to be optimistic, but it's really pissing me off. I know it's pissing off a lot of other Republican constitutionalist MAGA peoples that we're not getting the fucking arrests. Yes, we're getting some deportations. We're not fascist enough to do the deportations that we should do. I mean, we don't have a good Congress to help out by any means of holding the laws. So, but yeah, if I really feel there would have been a whole different outcome of the Derek Chauvin trial up there in Minneapolis had the jury been sequestered. But they needed a fall guy for they needed somebody to keep pushing this Black Lives Matter scam, or they've scammed millions and millions of dollars out of people. I mean, even Sharon Osbourne was trying to get her money back that she donated, and they're finally getting arrested, thankfully. Those, they can go to jail. That'd be all right, but that's still small fries to a lot of the other stuff, and hopefully up there in Minneapolis, sounds like they're getting there. But anyway, he's guilty. They're trying to, I guess I haven't refreshed this since for about an hour or so. So they went right into, got him, said he was guilty, and right away into sentencing. At 6:15, that was an hour ago, they ordered dinner. There's been arrests outside of the courthouse. Imagine that. Oh, so right about now, actually, let's live update 7:05. They have reached a verdict after 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is about the time it took them to reach the guilty verdict. To start off with, they're going to resume about 20 minutes. Metcalf family and the grandmother are in the courtroom. It's 7:25 now. So, yeah, we should get something. Hopefully, they're trying to argue that he, just out of pure passion, of heat of the moment type crime, even though it's murder, could you just go a little lighter on him instead of first degree murder, which is premeditated, which I really think they proved that. There was many witnesses saying that Anthony was looking for a fight, and that right there is, and plus you brought a knife to the track meet. I'm not saying knives aren't bad. Our auto teacher in high school, he wanted us to carry knives, pocket knives, not a fixed blade knife, just a pocket knife, little 1.5 inch, 2 inch long blade because they're handy. I never leave home without my knife. You never know when you're going to need something like that. But this is a lot bigger than just that. So he had intent of bringing that knife to the track meet. Looking for fights, getting riled up. Yeah, hopefully this comes back as, murder one, not murder two, not a crime, sudden act of sudden passion. The person doing the provoking was Carl Anthony, and it was. No updates yet. But anyway, this guy here, this is where we get into the idiocracy. Because this guy is going on a fucking rant. Now, I guess he's been back and forth on this shit. And he's, this is where we get the idiocracy from. I mean,
who had been suspended. Why? They left track practice according to the... I made a mistake in the beginning. I joined with the Metcalf family. I made a mistake. I repented and I spit on the Metcalf family and I joined the right family, the nigger family. But they're not the nigger family. That's an honorable black man and an honorable black mother who have their children in the same household, unlike the Metcalf family. Austin Metcalf and his brother had been suspended the week before. They were suspended last week. The kid who says, "Oh, I didn't know Carmelo," have text me.
So, I mean, that kind of gets into this where, again, listening to the way he's talking and spitting and sputtering the way he is, it just, fuck was all that? It just reminds me so much of Idiocracy, where, I'm not going to show the video, but we can play the audio.
Desperate for help. But the English language had deteriorated into a hybrid of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various crumbs. Joe was able to understand them, but when he spoke in an ordinary voice, he sounded pompous and faggy to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way a lot of our languages is, and what I was listening to, and I can't figure out where it was at.
Woods outside the courthouse. Ain't nobody mad but the crackers and the pink-toed Peckerwoods. Honkies. Funky honkies. I thank God for this all-white jewelry because no one could be able to do this but an all-white jewelry and get away with it.
So, obviously, he's a racist-ass motherfucker. But he's gonna bitch.
Along with the dad. Best friends. That's been... We already got the money set aside for appeals bond. Why? All white jewelry? The judge and the DA are buddies. Along with the dad. Best friends.
So I don't know where he's getting his information from. Yeah, it was an all-white jury. Okay. Yeah. And why do you have the money for an appeals? Why would you spend the money on appeals? Why would you spend the fucking money on the fucking trial? Instead of having the public defender do it. He's not getting a bonus for getting you off of the charges. He gets paid the same no matter if the dude's convicted or not. So it's like all the free healthcare in Canada and England and Denmark and all these other wonderful countries, and the free education. You pay for what you fucking get. If you don't pay, you're not going to get the best fucking services. This is a capitalist country. It is in human nature to be capitalist. When I'm not being paid any incentive to go that extra mile, besides that, hey, I'm a public defender and I got a person off a murder charge. No. I mean, that's all you can say. You're not getting paid anything extra. You're a public defender. Sometimes these cases are taken pro bono by public defender. I mean, it. Why do you have money for a fucking appeal? Why? You shouldn't have money for a fucking appeal at this point in time. You should have spent it on the fucking lawyer to start off with. You know, crawl before you fucking run. You moronic thinking. And again, the white lawyer, the white public defender lawyer is the one that picked the fucking jury too. He was there for jury selection, for questioning the jurors. They let a lot of black people go. Yes. Carmelo Anthony's attorney was fine with the jury pool. Okay. Unfair. If I was ever put myself in a predicament like that, and I sure as fucking going to. And out of the kindness of people's hearts, they give me the money. I'm going to use that as a lawyer so I don't have to fucking spend any more time in jail. What happened to that money? Of course they said they never spent it on anything. Obviously they fucking did. Obviously they did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to worry about waiting for an appeals like this guy wants to fucking do. Keeps talking about how all these buddies and all this bullshit and all that stuff. Keep fighting. You've got overwhelming evidence against you, against this kid. It did not take him that long. How long did they fucking... We'll refresh this again. 35 years in prison. Okay. They did give him first degree murder. Good. That's what yeah, because if they would have did the act of passion, be looking at 5 to 20 years instead of the 2 to 99 years, or 5 to 99 years, 35 years. So eligible for parole after half that time is served. That's 17 and a half years. So he's 19, be out before he's 40 if he behaves, and if he lasts that long. Another aspect of black on black crime everywhere. I need to go through this. What was... what time did they get the... 11 a.m. This jury started deliberations. 1:45. They spent roughly an hour and a half to convict this kid of murder. They spend more time trying to decide what we're gonna, how much time we're gonna give this kid for prison. Short, sweet. I mean, obviously, the evidence was there. A jury does not come back after an hour and a half or so. Less than 2 hours. For sure. Less than 2 hours. With all of them agreeing. Less than 2 hours, you're guilty. The evidence is there. Your appeals process, yeah, they're going to try appeals. We still got appeals going for one of the murderers here in Iowa that I happen to my whole life. About fucking weird. Knowing and talking to a murderer you didn't find out till freaking decades later. That was a weird case. Dude killed a woman here in Cedar Rapids in 1978. Didn't get caught till 2018. He's still appealing his murder charge. They got him on DNA. This thing, we've got video. I mean, that's another thing. Are these kids this fucking stupid? Do we have the idiocracy to not realize that there's fucking cameras everywhere? I mean, everywhere. At least when I was a kid, we could get away with shit. There was some closed circuit TV cameras every now and then, here and there, but they stuck out like a sore thumb. So now everybody's got this little phone thing. They're always filming. It's harder to get away with shit now. Especially when we know the FBI has facial recognition software. They use that all the time they're using it at baseball games and whatnot. We got flock cameras everywhere, which I've heard some of them are getting torn down anonymously, which I think is... I don't like a surveillance state. But at the same point in time, we've dumbed down all of society so much over the last 20, 30 years. I was lucky enough to live in the country where I didn't have the fluorinated water. We ate stuff out of the garden. We didn't have processed foods, and a lot of the processed foods didn't start coming about until the late 80s, early 90s. So, I mean, we were already getting poisoned by all the seed oils, but we've dumbed society down so much. I mean, look at how well people went along with the whole COVID bullshit. People gave up all their liberties. And, that was probably something that pissed me off the most, was our freedoms being taken. I mean, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in free speech. I don't believe there is such thing as hate speech. That is just a term for somebody that doesn't like what you have to say. What one person says is his opinion, and his opinion doesn't matter to anybody. Man, woman, dog, beast. His opinion doesn't matter to anybody shouldn't matter to anybody except for God Almighty. That's the only person that has to live with that fucking... He's got to live with what he says. If that's his belief, that's his belief. That's still not hate speech. There's no such thing as hate speech. You close down mom and pop stores and let others like Walmart continue on and Costco. No, you kept people from being able to worship God. At least Christians. A lot of priests, a lot of pastors did get arrested, especially up in Canada, for refusing to not service. But now they know how well a good chunk of I'm not going to say it's a 50-50 thing. I think we're less than, probably we'll say a good 40% of the population can be tricked like that, to follow along Just like that. You get down the rabbit holes of rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and they're not really even a rabbit hole. The information has been there. Some of the information has been out there for decades. But anybody that actually pulls files and reads through it and sees different operations that have been going on in the United States, they get called kooks and whacks. So, good. He can sob now in prison. He's been convicted. He should not be going, he will not be leaving that courthouse. He will be going straight to prison. That's a good thing. Well, I mean, they get held in county for a couple of days and then get transferred to max security. So this motherfucker here, he can take his racist ass and sit and spin, motherfucker. I don't mind being called names. They just roll off of me. I could care less. But it's funny. It just goes to show you. So, California's still counting. They're still counting. They still counting. Well, they actually did finally call the governor race. They are up to 90% counted. It was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. A week. Anyway. Hopefully that stands. That is fucking hilarious that she only got that many votes. She was a terrible person. The one that really got fucked over was the Los Angeles mayor and Spencer Pratt getting kicked out of this race. Poor dude. This bitch, the only reason she ran was because they wanted somebody to run against Karen Bass. One that she could beat easily, but would make it into the top two. And then Spencer Pratt threw it. And that's where the panic set in. And this is where the voting fraud begins. Again, with the mail-in ballots, totally unconstitutional. 100% unconstitutional. You could also almost argue that absentee ballots are unconstitutional, but you would have to... The way the military votes is by absentee ballots, so you can't really exclude the military from being able to vote. I mean, their vote should really fucking matter, especially when it comes to a presidential election, because they're voting for their boss, main boss, the top boss, the big guy. So I get the absentee ballots, and there is a process to that with the ballot signatures and all that good stuff. But you literally could do a smiley face and that signature verification in California. This is where we need the SAVE Act. John Thune is a pussy ass motherfucker that won't bring any legislation to the Senate. He will not get any Democrats on board because of the fact, or any Republican, the few Republicans that are standouts like McConnell, who at this point in time, he's worse than Biden. I really believe. I don't know. It's kind of a toss up. They're about the fucking same, actually. Otherwise, we haven't codified anything for Trump. Not that I'm 100% pleased with his actions. I I get why he's doing it. I'm not happy with what he's doing, but I get it. So but Congress just has absolutely no fucking backbone. I want the old Congress back. I want the Congresses of the beginning of our country, where shit actually got done. I mean, wasn't it bickering back and forth? And no, you didn't like somebody, you called him an old dirty bastard. Being called names was normal in Congress. They called each other names all the time. Oh, they're my colleague now. We work across the aisle, but we're colleagues. No, I work here. I come to an office here. I work for the people back home. You guys are not my colleagues by any means. I don't want to work with you. I want to work with what? Well, I mean, I want to work with you to a point, but don't misconstrue that I ever want to be your friend. That's me. That's another reason why I probably would never get elected, because I would go there and I would I'd hear like AOC fucking say something fucking utterly stupid, and I would call her a fucking retard. Just, the fuck kind of retarded shit's that, bitch? Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. Oh, fuck you. You can call a spade and an ace an ace. Okay? That's what we need. Let's fucking being pansy ass motherfuckers. Tired of these pansies. But on that note, here's where a lot of people might be pansies. They just might be pansies. So, Australia seized 100,000 cockroaches. They're hissing cockroaches. Madagascar hissing cockroaches. They're just fucking huge. They are illegal in Australia because they could become an invasive species. Australia already has enough prehistoric creatures on that island that don't live anywhere else. From the marsupials to just their spiders and lizards and snakes, and good God. No wonder England used that as a freaking prison colony. If you could survive there, which the Aboriginals have been there for a lot longer than scientists will probably admit that they've been there, but they've been there for a very long time. They've adapted, and that's a whole new freaking subject there, the Aboriginals. Oh, that's a good rabbit hole. Somebody should go down. We've gone down it. I've gone down it before. We can do some information on that. But anyway, we got cockroaches. But they don't want these fucking cockroaches. They've already got... Australia already has like these 1.5 inch long cockroaches. They're fucking nasty too. These fuckers... 2 to 3 inches long. Let's see if we can get a good... That's an ugly ass fucking roach. It's a fucking roach. Look at that. That's inside the guy's hand. Dude had 100,000 of them. He was breeding them. Why? Why would you breed fucking cockroaches? You think cockroaches, you think dirt. dirty and nastiness and filth, just living in your own squalor or whatever. You have no cleanliness about your living dwellings. I mean, I get it, they're part of the fucking whole process of ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but no, they breed these things, and you give them to people that have lizards and snakes and that, and they're quite delicious to those creatures. I've had a snake. I've had an iguana. The snake was interesting, feeding it live mice. That's probably where I draw the line. I'm not going to be going getting roaches. I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't buy an animal, lizard, reptile, whatever, that likes eating cockroaches. If it likes eating cockroaches, that's something I'm not going to bring into my fucking house. So you never know. That motherfucker might just squat down and lay 1,000 eggs, and you might not realize it, and bam, now you've got 100 more fucking cockroaches. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, breeding these fuckers. And they're just big. In Dubai, cockroaches. This is in New South Wales state, the city of Bathurst. They're illegal to import into Australia, and they can't be legally kept, bred, or sold, no matter how they were obtained. I get why they have a ban on them. Fuck, do we have a ban on them in the United States? Oh, God. We probably don't. We probably fucking don't. We'll give a permit to keep any type of fucking creature here in the United States because we got some crazy ass motherfuckers like these hidden people in Australia. There are some crazy ass people here. Yes. Yes. And yes, most of them are white because you don't mix crazy and black usually. I mean, I thought one of my good friends, black friends, was crazy, and then I did some stuff and I got called a crazy person, and I could kind of see his point. He sure as fuck wasn't going to taser himself. I enjoyed it. I mean, enjoyed it. It hurt, but that was nothing to me. So, I'm gonna land a little bit here. We've got a race here. Of course, the lefties' talking point now is that Zach Long lives 100% exclusively in Kansas. Yet has a 5-generation farm here in Iowa too that's operational. But Rob Sand Mr. Slope Shoulders decided to get himself a 5th-generation farmer, a lifelong Iowan. His name is Dave Mulbauer, I think. I don't know. I'm not going to go give him a follow. There was a thing came out that Mr. Rob Sand, right here, he was in Paris doing weird photo shoots. Really weird photo shoots. This is Dave, his running mate. They're trying to picture him as like what did Abby Finkenauer say? Oh, Yellowstone, Rip from Yellowstone. Iowa's Rip. That'll get he's wearing his cowboy hat. That'll get the Iowans to vote for him. Put a fucking hat on and you think he can fucking cowboy? That don't mean shit. granted, he's a farmer. Great. How he's kept his farm this long, I have no idea. Obviously, they've escaped some of the loopholes and shit, but and same with Zach Lane, but that happens. But this is just crying a whole Brokeback Mountain weird bullshit. So the memes and the AI is taking off. We got these two lovingly holding hands. I mean, I'll give Dave this. He does look more manlier than Slope Shoulders. I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't have this buttoned up all the way so it doesn't fall off. That's gotta be a bitch to keep fucking jackets on. You know? Oh, weird. So anyway, it's going to get more interesting in Iowa. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more mudslinging. AI is taking over. Thank you, Spencer Pratt, for opening that up. Oh man, he will go hardcore on Karen Bass, and that's why we had to steal the elections. We are going to talk about that. I'm going to work on that. Saturday, we're going to have, I want to get into a little bit of election history. The election frauds. Every election is a fraud. Every election has had fraud. You can't have statistical anomalies in voting. You just can't. You know, Pennsylvania, for example, in 2020, you cannot send out 1.8 million ballots and get back and count 2.1 million ballots. That's an anomaly. You have too many. Again, another case that was never heard. So therefore, obviously, Biden won that case. But we will get into that because there is a very good history lesson having to do with Thomas Jefferson, our third president, and elections. So whatever you do over the next couple of days, I'll be back on Thursday, 7 o'clock Central Time. If you like what you see, like what you hear, egg me on. Shoot me questions, man. Anybody. I don't give a fuck. I will get off on tangents, and I like having a little bit of a discussion. That's how we evolve as a society, is by having discussion, civil discourse. When you don't let the truth make judgments for you, then you're lost. I know there's a better way to put that, but there's something to be said for seeing the truth with your own eyes and saying it's false. That's almost demonic in a lot of ways. We'll call it a day for that. We'll come back Thursday, 7 o'clock. We'll see what other fun times happen. Until then, Carmelo Anthony, guilty first-degree murder, 35 years, and watch out for the Clintons. If you have any information, so we'll call it, and God bless you all. God bless you, and God bless Iowa, because I'm from Iowa. If I was from another state, I'd say God bless that state. God bless the USA.